Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is going to be my top 50 comics in my collection. And I'm going to do something interesting each week. I'm going to break it up into 5 videos, so it's going to be 10, my 50th to my 41st, and then so forth as I get down to the final numbers. I'm going to actually give all the pricing so you can find out how much these books are worth. I'm going to tell you a few details about the books. And I'm also going to give a couple shout outs to other channels to encourage them to show their top 50. If they want to do it as 5 videos, that's great. If they want to do it all at once, that's great. So I just love to see what's in their collections. So with that in mind, I'd like to shout out 2 channels. One is my friend Bigbymcfly and the comic guy. And I'll link to his channel below as well. So if you haven't checked out his channel before, you can check it out and follow the link. And the other one that I would like to shout out is Biggieshaq. And the reason I chose both of those channels is they were competing against each other recently in the C4 comic battles. So I thought it'd be interesting to see their top 50 comics from both of their collections. So it'd be fun. Hopefully they do it. And so shout out to Bigbymcfly and to Biggieshaq, the immortal Biggieshaq. Okay, so definitely check out both channels. So first, let's get into some books that kind of should have been on the list, but I didn't add. And there's reasons why I didn't add these 2 books, but they probably could have made the list. So the first one is Blonde Phantom number 15. And this should have been in my top 50, but I was kind of skeptical about the pricing. So there was a outlier sale for this grade of $2,700. And you know, this is not a key per se. It's just it has Submariner in it and it has Namora, but it's just a regular issue from the Blonde Phantom series. Now, this is a pretty cool book. It's art by Sid Shores, and you know, it's in super high grade, and that is part of the reason why it might have had that kind of outlier sale. But I see these listed on eBay for around $1,200 to $1,500 in a slightly lower grade. So I'm kind of thinking that outlier sale might be an outlier sale. I didn't pay $2,700 myself, so yeah, it's one of those things. So it wouldn't make the list if it's worth under $2,200. So I'm kind of putting it on the almost made it to the list category. Now this next one, this one had a record sale at $2,200. So it kind of made the list, but kind of didn't. It just, but it's another one where I'm not sure, like, it was $2,200, but back in 2021. So I'm not sure if it'd still make the list today. So it might be up, it might be down. A lot of these books have actually not performed as well as I would have hoped. But this is Blonde Phantom number 12, which is actually the Blonde Phantom number 1. Before this, it was called All Select Comics number 11. And All Select Comics number 11 was the first appearance of the Blonde Phantom. But this is a pretty cool cover. Got some bondage going on, and I believe it's another Sid Shores cover. Yep, Sid Shores cover. So just a cool book, but didn't quite make the list. So in order to make the top 50 list, you have to have, the books have to be of a minimum value of $2,200. The interesting thing is, when I did this top 20 list, or top 50 list back 2 years ago, in the height of the comic market, the total list was worth over $400,000. The prices have dropped for a lot of these big books, especially some of the major keys on the list, and the value is now around $340,000. So it's down by about $60,000. I say that with a smile, but it hurts. It really does hurt. So let's get into the top 50. And this is my 50th book on my list. And this one was worth $3,500. But now it's dropped down to $2,200. And it is Daredevil #1, first appearance of the Daredevil, Matt Murdock. And, you know, all the so we got Matt Murdock, Karen Page, and Foggy Nelson. And this is Jack Kirby cover and Stan Lee's story. So low grade, but I'm happy to have it on in my collection, and still a pretty pricey book. As I said, $2,200 in a 2.5. Okay, so that's number 50. Number 49 is Strange Tales 110. Now this is the first appearance of Doctor Strange. It's a terrible cover, I have to say. Just not an interesting one. You got Paste Pot Pete and you got the Human Torch, but no Doctor Strange. So this book kind of suffers from that. Actually has a fairly high census count too. But it is from 1963, and it is, what does it say? Jack Kirby cover again. Wow, Jack Kirby 2 for 2 on this list so far. So just a cool book. This goes for about $22.80. Okay, next on the list is Police Comics #11. And this is the first appearance of the Spirit from 1942. It is, who did the cover? Oh, Gil Fox. Gil Fox did the cover. He also did some Torchy books as well. So kind of a cool artist. And it's the first appearance of the Spirit, Will Eisner. Just a kind of a major character from the Golden Age. And you can see the Spirit right there. And just a cool plastic band cover as well. This book goes for around $2,350 in a conserved grade. If it was, I figure it would be about 40% more if it was a blue label. But it presents really well. It's a conserved grade. Loses a bit of value for that. But still, $2,350. Next book on the list is Aventure Comics #61. This is the first appearance of Starman, and this book goes for about $2,400. And it is from 1941, DC Comics. This one has restoration, a whole bunch of restoration, like edges trimmed, and it's got a lot of restoration to it. And it's the first appearance of Starman, and it says, full page ad for World's Best Comics #1, which is also another cool thing about this book. And it has Jack Burnley cover art. So just a cool book, 1941. This was my first Golden Age first appearance book, actually, in my collection, from Heritage Comics. I was like super excited when I won this. I was like, oh, I won a Golden Age first appearance. And it's a cool first appearance because he's right on the cover. And it's a pretty cool Jack Burnley cover. So yeah. Next on the list is Boy Commandos #1. Now this is the origin and the first appearance of Liberty Bell, Sandman, Newsboy Legion, Jack Kirby, and Joe Simon appearance. Classic war cover. And it's a Jack Kirby and Joe Simon cover from 1942. Just a cool book. You know, if you if you like Liberty Bell, she's kind of a cool character. That's why I actually picked this book up. Well, it's her first appearance. So this one goes for about $2,400 in a 7.5. The higher grade ones generally kind of have more value to them. But you can pick up a low grade copy, you know, fairly affordably. So So yeah, so we're halfway down on the list. Number 45 on the list is Tales to Astonish, number 27. This is the first appearance of Ant-Man, or Henry Pym. I always have a debate about him being the first appearance, but he was kind of retconned as being the first. This is being the first appearance as Ant-Man. Really, the story was designed to be kind of a one-off horror anthology tale about a guy who experiments with something that makes him small, and he learns to make friends with the ants and is able to escape. But then in Tales to Astonish 35, they gave him a suit and they called him the Ant-Man. So this is Henry Pym's first appearance. And this is from 1962. And it's Stan Lee's story, Jack Kirby art. Again, wow, lots of Jack Kirby on this list. So just the time period. So this is worth about $2,400 as well. This next book is also worth about $2,400. And this is Thrilling Comics number 41. This is Alex Schomburg cover art. And it's actually an interesting book because it has the most swastikas on any comic book cover or magazine cover. Just filled with swastikas. So if you like swastikas, well, this is the book for you. And it's a funny one because they're kind of making fun of Hitler, which is awesome. And they shoot all around him. They got him all in bondage. You got Mussolini hiding under the bed, right there. Got this little mouse dude. I don't know what the mouse is doing. And then you got everything with Alex Schomburg covers. He has a tendency of labeling stuff. So you got the secret air raid shelter. You got the secret documents, and it also has war bonds. So or Red Cross, red war bonds. So just a really cool cover. And this is just it's considered a classic Hitler and Mussolini cover. This is from 1944. And this one, as I said, goes for about $2,400. Another book that goes for slightly more, number 43 on the list, doing the math correctly, is Marvel Family number 1. So this goes for $2,450. And this one's actually suffered a lot of loss of value. It used to go for about $3,800. It's kind of gone down. Didn't do so well after the movie. But this is the first appearance of the Black Adam, and actually was the last appearance that he had in the Golden Age. It wasn't until much later that the Black Adam reappeared, and in DC Comics, where I believe it's DC Shazam number 27, I believe, which is in 1976. So much later. This book is from 1945, and it's a 1/8 restored. That's why it's a little bit less valuable. If it was a blue label, it would be worth a bit more. But generally in these low grades, restored and the blue label's almost the same price, almost usually. What else? It's the first appearance of Black Adam, first appearance of the Marvel, Baby Marvel, and Uncle Marvel appearance. So kind of a cool one for all the key things. And it's Marvel Family number 1. So it's where they start that new title with the Marvel family. So just a cool book for so many reasons. So this is, I believe it's CC Beck cover. Yeah, CC Beck cover. Okay, so that's that one. So we got 2 more to go. Next one on the list is Startling Terror Tales. This one's kind of a beat up one, but these pre-code horror books have been going quite crazy in price. And this is L.B. Cole cover from 1952. And this is a classic cover, blue and black logo. Variants exist. So basically there was 2 types of versions of this book. One was probably an earlier part of the run, where this border around the Terror was all done in black. Now the problem when it was all done in black was that you couldn't read the tails underneath. So they, early on in the printing, they realized that mistake, and they changed it to a kind of a bluish color, a bluish gray color. So this is a classic cover. And this is actually a book that is a reprint. The thing that goes for it, the reason it's such a high demand book, is really it's a cover by. The interior is from Tarantula number 5, or feature presentation number 5, I believe, which is kind of a cool cool book in its own right. But this reprints that book and gives it a new cover. So L.B. Cole had his own publication called Star Comics, and he basically would reprint other comics and give them really cool covers. So people collect L.B. Cole covers, and this is one of the great ones. This Death Spider is very popular. So these go for crazy money, actually. So this one, from what I could see from the census, this goes for about $2,460 in a 1.0. And last on the list is another really great comic. This is number 41 on my list. It is Batman number 3. And this one is a Bob Kane cover from 1942 or 40? 1940, sorry, 1940. And it is the first appearance of the Catwoman. Now, really, this is one of those ones where there's debate about that, but this is the first appearance of the Puppet Master, at least. But Catwoman, the reason I say Catwoman is in the first 2 issues of Batman, there was a character called the Cat, and it really was Catwoman, but she would, you never got to see her. you never like see her in costume, and they would just see these newspaper clips, and you would see her like dressed up in maybe disguise, but not as her costume. In this one, you get to see the Catwoman in her full form, and she's actually referred to as Catwoman. So yeah, in this, the costume is pretty bad though, I have to say. The Catwoman costume is really just her wearing a cat mask. Not the greatest, but it's a start. And she became a very popular character, or one that I really like. So I wanted to get her first appearance. So this is Batman number 3, and it is a Bill Finger story, Bob Kane cover art. And that was my first lot of 10 books. They get bigger and bigger. The next list will feature books that are $2,600 plus. So wait for next week for that. I hope you enjoyed seeing these books from my collection. If you have comments, please put them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.